Travel Squad podcast.
We're four friends that grew up together in the same small town.
We followed each other to San Diego, and now we adventure the world together.
One passport stamp at a time.
We're here to share our travel stories and inspire you to go on your own adventures.
Even if it starts with your own backyard. I'm Jamal.
Brittany.
Kim.
And I'm Dana.
And we're the Travel Squad podcast.
So grab your tickets,
your passport,
And don't forget your travel insurance.
And prepare for takeoff.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 15 of the Travel Squad podcast. Today, we're going to take you on a quick weekend trip to Denver, Colorado for Jamal's birthday that we went on a couple years ago.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Turning 22 again.
Yeah, well, I wasn't that young when we went. As with any of our trips, we had some interesting mishaps, lots of hiking. For Kim's sake, lots of rooftop bars.
Hey.
And lots of good sleep. I'm just kidding, guys. You know we never have any sleep on our
Yeah, that
trips.
first night, we got a lot.
I know.
But you know what? Despite the lack of sleep, we made the most of it. Don't you think, guys?
We did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we explored Boulder. We summited a mountain in the Rocky Mountain National Park. And I was really sick when we did that too, by the way. And then we fucking dominated downtown Denver.
Dominated it.
Dominate.
And if you can't tell by now, we spend a lot of our weekend getaways exploring national parks and having easy days. So
Lots of easy days.
let's get started.
Easy day number one.
So we started the trip with an easy day.
It was Friday night. We were flying out of San Diego to Denver, and womp, womp, womp. Our flight gets delayed.
But we don't realize it until we're already at the airport.
Right.
We didn't think much of it because we were already a couple drinks in from the airport bar, were we not? So we were having a good time. Then we find out our flight's delayed because there was weather interruptions and just made for a whole fiasco that's honestly pretty freaking ridiculous.
It was delayed a couple times, right?
Yeah.
It kept
Mother
getting pushed
Nature
back and
at her
pushed
finest.
back. Yeah.
So we finally do get on the plane much later than intended.
I think
and
like 2.5 hours after the fact.
Can I just say, on this flight, Jamal and Brittany were in one aisle, and Kim and I were on the same aisle on the other side next to the window. And this was a weird one because Kim was in the aisle, I was in the middle, and there was no seat at the window. And there were snacks in the seat where there was no seat. Do you remember that, Kim? And so you and I were like, holy shit, look at all these snacks. So we grabbed them and we look at Jamal and Brittany, look, dude, someone left their snacks. And we were like trying to offer you them and you're like, nah, it's good. So we put them back because we decided not to eat the snacks. And then the guy behind us reaches forward and he's all, oh, I'm just gonna grab my food.
I forgot all about that. But before we get too far into it, I think we should mention why it was actually delayed. It wasn't just for any particular reason. There was actually severe thunderstorms, lightning storms in the Denver area. So our actual flight was actually coming back from Denver to San Diego, and then it was flying back San Diego to Denver. So our airline was just doing that leg back and forth, part of their routine. So they had severe weather that caused serious delays. So we got on the flight 2.5 hours after our original takeoff point, and then normal flight time. But by the time we landed and hit the tarmac in Denver, what did we have to do?
well,
had to
every
wait.
other flight also was delayed because of the storm.
Yes.
So we all got there at the same time.
It was a landing clusterfuck, and we had to wait on the tarmac for an hour
Yep.
after we landed.
We're all excited to be there, and then we get stuck on the plane for an hour.
I know we were already delayed 2.5 hours. Flight time was normal. We thought, okay, we're delayed, but no, we were delayed even more and sat on the tarmac for 1 hour. And it was just so frustrating and annoying at that point.
Yeah. You know, I had given up Candy Crush for about 2 years up until that point, maybe 2.5. And the only reason I started up again was because Kim pulled out her phone and started to play Candy Crush. And I totally played the game for her over her shoulder. And I had to download it.
Because if you heard our episode 13 where we talk about how to survive a long haul flight, or really any flight, we talk about how when we play Candy Crush, or at least me, it's always when traveling. And now Zaina's addicted again.
I know, right? So I blame
She hasn't
the
put it
flight
down
delay.
in the last 2 years.
Always see Zainab playing Candy Crush.
So we finally make it to Denver and we're so excited, but now we have to get to our rental car. And so, of course, we head over to take the shuttle, but it was taking so long for the shuttle bus to come and take us. So we purposely take the wrong shuttle bus because I looked on Google Maps and I see that they're kind of like all in a row on the same street.
It's like we were waiting for like Hertz or something. We jumped on an Enterprise.
Yeah, so we jump on, we get off at the wrong location, knowing that it's the wrong location, and I'm like, it doesn't look too far. We'll just walk to the next rental car place over. Surprise, surprise, we were walking on the side of the road.
Pulling our luggage at
1 a.m.
Yep, very late.
It's not even like a little dirt road. It was a highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was going to be close. Well, I mean, we were already just so frustrated. Delayed flight, waiting an hour on the tarmac. We get out there. We were waiting 30 minutes for a shuttle that never came. We didn't really understand why. We saw another shuttle to one of the other rental car locations nearby. And we're like, this is the first one that we've seen. We have to take it and just walk. It's going to be quicker than waiting for the other one.
And I feel like someone checked a luggage on this flight.
We both did because we had to pay for our luggage because we took Frontier, right?
Yeah.
And we shared 2 big luggages. Usually we just bring carry-ons and do it
That's
for
right.
free, but we split 2 and 2 in each of the luggages and had big
Yes.
ones this time.
So that was another thing. Even though it was a weekend trip and we usually only pack a carry-on, we couldn't do that. So we shared baggage and checked them.
Which was probably also a clusterfuck, if I'm remembering
Why
right.
did we check it though?
We had to because we only wanted to pay for 2 bags, and that was
But why
your
didn't-
guys's and ours.
But why didn't we just take
The carry-ons
regular
cost
carry-on?
money too.
On Frontier they
Yes.
do? Oh, I don't remember that.
So
They're like
travel
Spirit
hack for you
then.
guys if you want to
Okay.
save money and you have to check a bag and pay for it, just do one and share the bag. I think I had a duffel bag and I just put it in your suitcase, Dana.
That's right. Good memory. Yes, yes.
Because I remember being at the baggage carousel thinking like, oh my fucking God, now we have to wait for luggage too before we head out.
Yeah.
So-
So finally get to the car rental place.
Get to the car rental place.
Send mom and dad in there.
Oh my God. Big line and only 2 people pretty much working the counter. And by big line,
Clusterfuck.
we waited 3 hours to get from the back of the line to the front of the line to get our rental car. Why? Because of the storm, there were so many flight delays and cancellations that people that lived within a 5-hour drive of Denver to other states in the area were actually renting cars to drive because all other flights were pretty much canceled because of the delays. So
and
even,
everyone's flight got in at around the same time.
yeah, so even though we had our reservation, it should have been a quick little thing, we had to wait. Oh my God. Just thinking about it now, it brings back terrible memories. Had to wait 3 hours, being so tired in the middle of the night. And not only that, obviously, when we plan our trips, we had a jam-packed day, but the next day we were actually going to be going to an early breakfast with our friends from Machu Picchu who hiked the Inca Trail with us, who live in the Denver area. So
And it was an hour drive. So we had to wake up like at 5, I think it is, to get ready, to leave by 6, to be there like by 7.
yeah, so point being, we waited 3 hours to just even get our rental car.
And so that was from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. that we waited to get the rental car, and it took us 30 minutes to get to our Airbnb. So we didn't get in until about 4:30, and we slept for an hour and a half.
to wake up at 6.
I really
Oh, okay,
wanted to
there we go.
cancel and just not go, and Brittany was not having it.
Yeah.
I wasn't because we had made plans with our friends, and it would have been like a very, very last minute cancellation. And they had specifically told me they had gone out and gotten food
Yeah.
for us because they were leaving on a trip themselves. And I was like, all right, we're just going to have to fucking suck it up and go.
And
can
we
nap
did.
later.
Hardest part is waking up. Once you're up, it's good to go. But wait a minute, real quickly, before we get to the breakfast, I remember mom and dad were standing in line. Kim and I were sitting up against the wall, charging our phone.
Playing Candy Crush.
I was
just-
like,
that was
wait,
my next
your mom
line.
and dad came?
And all of a sudden, the bus that we didn't take because we got on the wrong bus on purpose comes, and people are flooding off of that bus. And we're just like, thank goodness we weren't on that bus because the line was out the door of the rental place. So good call, Jamal and Brittany. Good call.
So So our Airbnb, we picked it for a few different reasons. It was 30 minutes from downtown and it was central to every place we wanted to hit. So it was very convenient for us. It's also 2 bedrooms and had a nice living room kitchen area. Love Airbnbs for the convenience of everything, the kitchen, the layout.
Usually we do a lot of cooking when we have Airbnbs ourselves, but not so much necessarily on this trip because, again, in the morning, first thing, 1, we got in so late we didn't even have time to buy breakfast, but 2, we were going somewhere to breakfast. So the first actual morning, which at this point, Saturday morning, after our fantastic full sleep of an hour and a half, we went to our friends Jen and David, again, who hiked the Machu Picchu Inca Trail with us, or we with them, however you want to look at it.
Great people.
Yeah,
Very,
absolutely.
very nice people.
Very hospitably had us in their home to see them, had breakfast. So it was really nice to just catch up with them and reminisce about the trip. And they showed us their house up in the mountains. It was really beautiful.
It's beautiful. They
Yeah.
have beautiful property.
Shout out to you, Jen and David. Thanks for having us.
And they made some of the most amazing French toast for us. Oh, it was so good.
Walk us through the spread.
What I do remember is the French toast, and then they also made smoothies.
Yes.
Yes.
And we had coffee and we ate outdoors on a picnic bench and it was so nice.
Out in the woods.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
And
We're
I'm
in the
really glad
Rockies.
that we made it to the breakfast.
Yeah, we powered through. We still looked good too. And that's key. Okay.
We looked great.
And we asked them for some recommendations to do in the Boulder area. They did recommend for us to go to Flatirons to look out to the city of Boulder.
Did do that. It was a little hike. It was hot as fuck, but
Flatirons is the park out there, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
there was that little creek and then we
Yes,
hiked up the
yes.
mountain and it was really nice. You could see out into Boulder and it was pretty. People had dogs up there. Brittany was having a lot of fun up there.
Let's have a photo shoot. for
Yeah, you guys, fun story for you. So we're on the top of a boulder overlooking the city and there's no one there. So Brittany lifts her dress and kind of like
Moons us.
moons us. So Jamal takes a picture of
She
her.
does all the time.
Yeah. And so Brittany is like posing for the camera and there's no one there, but Brittany doesn't know it because she's too involved in her photo shoot. So I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? Good morning, to like an invisible person. But Brittany just throws her dress down. Her face turns like white and she
Starts running.
Yeah, she just like quickly looks to see who it is because she's totally exposing herself. And she realizes that no one was there. And I got her so good.
You did. You got me so good.
Her heart stopped.
Yeah, but minus the heat in that area, that Flatirons was a cool little park to just kind of get a good overlook of the city of Boulder, really kind of out in the middle. I don't want to say the middle of nowhere because it is a city, but yet you feel kind of isolated in nature just being in the Rockies. So it's a really, really serene and cool park in the area to do a little bit of hiking. We would have done more, but we had a big hike the next day that we were going to do on top of that. But it was just really, really hot and not a lot of shade for us to want to do more at that point.
But
What did we do to cool off?
Rooftop bar.
Rooftop Bar.
Yeah.
With margaritas.
mini margaritas.
My favorite.
So we went to the rooftop of Rio Grande.
Not the actual river.
In Boulder.
In Boulder. And Kim found out a pro tip. Kim, share it with us.
Okay, so they have a deal. You can get 2 mini margaritas or you can get 1 big margarita. And the 2 minis was like $1 cheaper than the 1 big. And the 2 minis equals more margarita by volume than the 1 big.
What a steal.
Save money, get more.
And then you can get 2 flavors.
Yes.
Mango, strawberry.
I remember, I think I got 2 mangoes, but they were delicious.
Yes.
So, as everyone's well aware, Kim loves the rooftop bar.
I do.
I didn't know that.
This was this was a rooftop bar, but I mean, we're talking only like 3 stories high, so
Right.
it's not anything
Not a
big or
skyscraper.
crazy, but still really nice to have that experience out there in the Rockies. But luckily, up there they had umbrellas, they shaded it. It was
We
nice
had
and
misters
cool.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we eat or we just got drinks?
We had drinks and I think chips and salsa.
Okay, I was
It was a
gonna say I
Mexican
don't
place.
remember getting anything to eat specifically there.
Because we just had breakfast.
Yeah. And Another thing that Boulder is famous for, I don't know, maybe the older crowd who listens to us will remember this, but if anyone's familiar with the story of John Benet Ramsey, she and her family lived in the area, so we were intrigued because all of us are into murder mysteries.
We love crime documentaries.
Yes, went to go see her home. Obviously, you can't go in, but the house is still there.
And it was for sale, so it looked pretty vacant and creepy.
It was like a mile away, too, from the bar that we were at. And so, we just decided to drive by, and it's just, I can't believe how big the house was. Like, it's big, and it's a very beautiful neighborhood. And it's just so crazy because this house is just so dark and gated off, and nothing else is gated. It's just so lively and colorful. And then there's this house. But I do remember reading that, I know it is for sale, but when they used to have open houses, it was like a lot of looky-loos, people who are just intrigued with the story who wanted to see the house. So
kind of like how we did go look on the outside.
Yeah, but I don't think I would do a...
Go inside.
Yeah,
that's a little much. Yeah, we were just curious to see it. And again, not in a necessarily a gruesome or creepy way, but we do love like murder mysteries. And as sad as that story is and feeling for her and her lost, family's lost, it was just really intriguing since we were there. We're like, I just want to see the house.
And her murder happened when we were all alive. So it's not like we just knew of a random murder in the past that we didn't live through. This is like something we watched on the news.
Captivated the news for years.
Yeah.
Still are captivated by it.
Still don't know who the murderer was.
Yeah.
But after that,
we thought we would be super tired and want to go back and take a nap.
But we weren't.
We were powering through the day.
And we rallied. What did we rally and do?
The Coors Tour Factory.
I just got to say that when we were driving around Colorado, I can see why the Coors beers cans look the way that they do. It is the exact picturesque scene of the Rockies.
Mountains and trees. Yeah,
like if you've never been to Colorado, look at a Coors can, and that's what Colorado looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to the Coors Factory, and there's a line to take a tour.
Free tour.
Free tour.
We love
and
free
comes
stuff.
with what? What does it come with?
Free beer.
Free beer. Woo woo.
Free tour, free beer. How can you go
that's
wrong?
why we went.
Sign me up.
And you don't even have to forget your whisper because they give you one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, low blow.
No one had to freak out on this part of the trip.
Yeah, so this one was really interesting. It was self-guided, but obviously they gave you an electronic device with an earpiece. And I think it was either GPS located or you clicked a button when you were in front of someplace and it told you what number to push, and then it would kind of tell you about this area, their process, etc. So it was just really interesting to see not even just beer, but just a factory of mass production going on. So that was intriguing in and of itself. But obviously the highlight was after we were done with the tour, they have a beer garden at the bottom of the factory and plant, and we all had ourselves some free beer. And when it's when we say free beer, they weren't just giving little baby cups, they were giving almost like full pints.
I remember getting a little bit tipsy.
And they gave 3 full samples, not just 1, not 2, 3 samples. You guys know I can't handle that. I'm like a one and done girl. So I gave out my 3rd drink. So 2 cut me over.
I unfortunately couldn't drink too much because I'm obviously always driver.
So I had to step in and take one for the team here.
Thank you, Kim, for your noble contribution.
Also, it wasn't just Coors and Coors Light that they had. They had Blue Moon, and they had a bunch of special flavors that they did not sell in any stores outside of Colorado.
Yeah, so obviously anything that's under the Coors parent label, they had to try. Again, Blue Moon is under that. And yeah, the stuff that they sold in Colorado was actually like craft beer. So you wouldn't think of Coors as craft beer, but the ones that Kim is referencing, they were craft specialty beers, even IPAs. So really unique compared to what you would think from just Coors.
And I think after this, we did go back to our Airbnb and just kind of rest for a bit, because the next thing and last thing we did for the evening was we went to Yale House, which also had another rooftop, Kim. Mm-hmm. She picked it, of course.
I found all the rooftop bars in the Denver area within a 20-mile radius, and we hit them all.
We did 3, and I think 3 too many.
No, we can never have enough rooftop bars.
I'm giving you a hard time. I enjoyed them all. Especially
Show me someone that wouldn't have a good time on rooftop. Okay.
You know what?
I
Show me
can't.
someone who's not going to have a good time with us.
It's true.
That's true.
That's true.
So at Yale House, we had a dinner with a view of downtown.
It wasn't like a high rooftop. I think it was just like 2 or 3 stories.
The time we were eating was starting to get dark, so the city lights were starting to come on too.
And then we kind of called it an early night because we had been up so early with such little sleep. And we started the next day bright and early. Was this your actual birthday, Jamal?
No, it wasn't. We were in Denver maybe like 3 days before my birthday.
okay.
But
Your birthday was a Wednesday.
yeah, but this was my easy day, right?
Yeah, it was your easy day. So, you guys, in episode 5, we talked about road tripping to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park. And specifically, we got lost in Kings Canyon.
Wasn't my fault.
And Jamal, on our way home, specifically said, on our next trip together, I do not want to hike. And this is a trip we took for his birthday.
For the next trip.
He also said, on my birthday, I do not want to hike.
So I planned a trip and we hiked, of course.
And if you could see Jamal's face, he's giving his famous scoff.
He's giving the same scoff he gave us when we forgot our passports in China.
Disappointment. No, but I ended up having fun, but I don't know how many times I have to tell Brittany, like, I just don't want to hike. Like, when I do it, obviously, like, I have a lot of fun, but sometimes I just want to do nothing on my birthday, kind of sit and relax. And so Brittany always takes over, and I say this with love, makes me do what she wants to do on my birthday.
Yeah, so we hiked Rocky Mountain National Park, and then his next birthday, I made him hike Carlsbad Caverns. And then what did it make you do the following birthday after that, Jamal?
Made me hike Channel Islands.
Yeah.
So you always go hiking for your birthday.
Apparently, but luckily this year, or not this year, 2020 coming up, my birthday is going to be on a weekday, so we really can't do anything, I don't think.
We can.
Little do you know.
But anyway, yeah, so we woke up the next day here on Sunday to do hiking at Rocky Mountain National Park, which, for all the shit that I'm giving Brittany about making me hike, 1, we had a good time. 2, I was looking forward to it because obviously we love to hit off the national parks, so this was another check mark off the list of the national parks.
For the record, I don't know what happened, but I was sick this weekend. So
When are you not sick?
oh
Well,
my
this was bad. You were like Nettie potting it up at the Airbnb.
I was, and Brittany rented a 2-bedroom Airbnb, and I gave Kim the bedroom, and I slept
Oh,
on the
yeah.
couch. Yeah, because I'm like, okay, well, clearly it would be really disrespectful to sleep next to Kim in my state. So
You were so
so nice
sick,
of
you went
you.
to Walgreens to actually buy a Nettie Pot.
I did.
I remember that now.
And Jamal gave me a demonstration of how to use the Nettie pots. You're
They're
such a
great.
good brother.
They're
They
great.
really are. They really are. But I want you to know that not even a cold can keep me out of the Rocky Mountains. I wasn't about to sit it out. And, you know, if I needed a break, they gave me a break. So it was good.
Something almost did keep us off the trail that we wanted to do, though.
A bear?
No. It's always a bear with you.
It's
as they
very
say.
crowded in summer at Rocky Mountain National Park. There's a lot of crowds. As with any national park in the summer, it's the peak season.
So there was a huge line for the shuttle, and we needed to take the shuttle to get to the trailhead because there was no more parking left at the trailhead. And the line was so long. Shuttle
we
buses
waited like 30 minutes in it before we decided to leave it.
And the shuttle buses were coming and picking people up, but it was just too much. So we're like, screw this. We went back inside and I talked to a ranger and I'm like, what hike would you recommend instead? He actually gave us a really good recommendation. He recommended the Deer Mountain Trail. And we were able to drive to the trailhead and park there, and it was a really nice summit.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a really nice forested trail. Not
Completely
many
shaded.
people on it.
Not many
or
people,
any.
and it was completely
Yeah.
shaded. Not once were we in direct sun. That was enough for me
Very
to
nice.
love it. Yeah. No
love
bears on the
trails.
trail, though, Zaina, right?
Mountain
No
lions.
bears on the trail and no shits on the trail.
Not this time.
After the national park, we went back to the Airbnb to shower, chill for a minute before we were going to go out on the town.
Where did we go?
Rooftop Bar. Woo!
Yes.
So we went to this
303.
place called Linger that was in a central part of Denver, and it was really cute. They had an old, what are those, like trailer?
Volkswagen bus, I thought it was, that was kind of cut out to be the bar.
One of those old camper trailer kind of hipster looking thing, and that's what they made the bar out of. They just had a bunch of cool stuff up there. We were lounging, drinking.
This was actually the highest rooftop bar of the rooftop bars that we
I
went
would
to.
say it was the best one we went to.
Yeah,
And I think we were looking over Little Man ice cream.
we were.
So the only next logical step is to go down and get some Little Man ice cream.
Absolutely.
you?
And it's Little Man ice cream is a little old ice cream tin or milk tin, how they used to have it back in the day, but it's gigantic, and that's the building. So it's really cute.
And I
Really
think-
good ice cream.
And
Be
there was
prepared to
a
wait.
line not only on the sidewalk but around the corner.
Yeah.
It was a huge
And they
line.
had live music going on out there, and people were just sitting in the courtyard and chilling. It was great vibes.
And the ice cream was pretty bomb. I don't know if people say bomb anymore, but I did.
I say bomb all the
I say it
time.
all the time, too. I just think that place had the first real Denver vibes that I felt. I don't want to say it's a hipster town now or anything like that, but I mean, kind of is. But I don't want to label it and have any of our listeners in Colorado be a little upset.
I'm with the
But,
hipsters.
but I felt like when we were at Linger and then got Little Man down there that we were just kind of in an ambiance of their current culture. And it was really nice.
Yes.
Well, I think this is also the first time that we've been downtown because we were in Boulder the day before and we were hiking all day this day. So it's like our first,
glimpse of downtown.
yeah.
So our next day, we hit up Red Rocks Amphitheater.
It's one of the must-sees when in the area. It's beautiful. And we didn't get a chance to see a musical show there, and that kind of sucks. It would be amazing to see one there. But it's
Yeah.
open to the public during the day.
A lot of people were going there just to like hike it because of all the
Exercise.
steps.
Right.
And, but
Yeah.
why don't you tell people what Red Rock actually is, Kim?
It's natural red rock formations that they've built an amphitheater inside of. So where there's a stage and like amphitheater style seating, there's huge red rocks in the background. Like you're in the middle of a mountain. It's really cool.
So a lot of people, like we said, it's open to the public, go there to actually do hiking. We saw people walking their dogs out there. So beyond just for shows, it's definitely a tourist attraction and local attraction to do hiking and exploring of some of the mountainous areas out there.
And you know what else was out there? Heat.
It was very
A
hot.
lot of heat.
We were there at the end of July and it was very hot. I would love to go back and see it when it's snowing.
Me too.
Oh, how beautiful would that be? Oh my goodness.
So from there, we went to downtown, and Kim and I actually put other clothing in the car so that we can change.
Wardrobe change.
Wardrobe change for midday because we were headed to afternoon tea at
Yeah.
D Bar.
What does the D stand for?
Kim likes a
The
good
D.
D.
The D? I think so.
Yeah.
It's interesting because they have a D bar. Well, they did have the D bar here in San Diego, and it originated in Denver. And also, we didn't mention this, but this morning we ate at Snooze. I believe it was this morning.
Oh, that's right.
That is
We
true.
did eat at Snooze.
And
Don't miss that.
yes, that originated in Denver, but they have one here in San Diego, and they don't take reservations. And it's a line out the door, and they close by like what, 12 p.m.
2,
Oh, okay.
2 p.m.
Yeah, so we totally hit up the two places that we have in San Diego.
But D-Bar isn't open in San Diego anymore, but we did make a reservation for afternoon tea here because Brittany and I are in love with afternoon tea.
It's fun.
It's really fun.
It's
and
a great experience. It's cute. You get to dress up, and all of the food's really
I
good.
love little foods. It's so
Little
much funner to
hors d'oeuvres.
eat.
But the lemon curd at D Bar, oh my God. It was so
They
good.
had
I
little-
dream of that lemon curd.
I don't remember it.
I don't either. I have no idea.
I don't remember it.
Wow. It was freaking bomb.
I would say you probably remember like the clotted cream, Jamal.
I love clotted cream. Give me clotted cream and a scone. And I'm
Do
all about
you
it.
remember the creme brulee?
I do. It's not as good as mine.
And they had little mini grilled cheese and a little tomato soup
Soup?
to dip it in.
I do remember that. That was
that was so
that one
good.
was actually pretty good.
Now, for D-Bar, I believe you do need reservations.
Well, for the
make sure-
Afternoon tea.
yes.
Most of them you do.
So make sure you make the reservations. Don't just walk in and tell them that the travel squad sent to you.
If you're looking for afternoon tea in Denver, go to D-Bar. Highly recommend.
But do tell them after you made the reservations that the travel squad sent you.
And D Bar is located in the downtown area. And so while we were there, we roamed downtown and went to the convention center to see the big blue bear.
Oh, it's so cute.
It was cute.
Yeah,
It
so
looks like it's peeking into the window of the convention center.
that's the only bear we saw on the trip, by the way, isn't it, Lena?
I mean, it's the only bear that we saw, but who knows
How
what
many
other
bears
bears
saw
are out
us?
there.
Well, that's true.
Denver reminds me a lot of San Diego because Denver has a lot of the craft breweries, which just like us. And when we were in Aurora, we went to a coffee shop that is owned by
Yeah, Legends.
Who
Legends
you went to-
Coffee coffee. Yeah. My friend Tyson Wickline, who I went to school with at Woodland Christian. I mean, I'm friends with his brother too, Jake. He owns a coffee shop in Denver, not downtown Denver. I'm trying to think of
It was Aurora, no?
Aurora.
Yeah,
It was
in
Aurora.
Aurora. So thank you for reminding me of that. Then I
Yeah,
have to
give him a shout out.
to him. Yeah, we specifically
Coffee was good.
It was delicious. We
Breakfast
specifically
sandwich was
wanted to
good.
go there to try his coffee, and he's opened it from the ground up himself. It's really, really nice, really good coffee, cool little hangout atmosphere. Put Starbucks to shame, huh?
Yeah. So go there and tell them Jamal sent you.
Yes, they will know who that is.
So really, we only spent 3 full days in Denver. And so Monday, which is the day we're talking about now, was our final day before we flew home. And we had some time to kill. And so we went to a place called 10 Barrel Brewery before our flight.
Yeah, it was just a chill little brewery we were at. And as we were sitting there, though, waiting for the time to come to go to the airport, we kind of realized we could have crammed all of this into 2 days and not taken Monday off.
Yeah, we did realize
We
that.
really could have gone a little harder and saved that one PTO day.
That's definitely true. So if anyone's planning on that trip, but I'm glad that we didn't, considering the unforeseen of the flight delay that we had. Because
Yeah.
if we tried to
Yes.
really do all this in 2 days, considering the flight delay, obviously,
Could
I
have.
know, of course, I
Might
know.
not have hit all those rooftop bars.
I have a lot of faith in the TS squad here, but nonetheless, it would have been a little rough.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that you have to take into account is that we travel a lot and we're go, go, go. So if we were to put this in 2 days, it would have been a lot, but we would have been able to do it. So go at your own pace on what you think you can do, not what we're telling you we can do.
Anything's possible, though.
Yes, I do believe that.
But one thing that was really cool about Tin Barrel Brewery and where we were, it was in a district that, what do you remember the
The
name?
Arts District.
Yeah, and if it has a specific name, we'll put it in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really interesting because a lot of the buildings that they had there, I don't want to say they were graffitied or tagged because that's not what it was, but they were like painted by local
Murals.
artists and murals, and it was just a really cool vibe in that area. So
It's called the Rhino Art District, and
Okay.
Rhino stands for River North.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was a specific district down there. So perfect. Yeah, that was really cool. So even if you're not going there to just drink beer, check out the murals that they have painted. It's a really interesting part of their city.
Apparently, it looks like they now have a Tin Barrel Brewing here in San Diego
Yeah, I've been to it.
on East Street.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's a nice brewery. It's 2-story as well.
Oh, wow.
Denver is just populating us here in San Diego.
See, a lot of similarities between the two.
Yeah.
Felt right at home there.
So do you guys have any final thoughts before we move into questions of the week?
Nope. But I am ready for questions of the week.
Well, I had one final thought.
Okay, what is it?
My final thought was when you go to national parks, it's good to have a hike in mind or things that you want to do in mind. But when things don't work out, go ask the rangers because they do have a lot of good recommendations
They really do.
and they will get you to places that are off the beaten path. I've never gone wrong with a ranger recommendation.
Yeah, because I mean, the rangers, they're out there actually hiking these things themselves. You know, people don't become rangers without liking nature and, you know, being hikers themselves. So, yes, there's the main things, which is what we did the research on the original hike that we wanted to do. But that recommendation was great. Kim, it's your time. Question.
All right. Questions.
Question of the week.
Questions of the week. Do, 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 do. Okay.
Wait, what rhymes with week?
Weed. And that is our first listener question, actually. So, Colorado was one of the first states or the first state to legalize marijuana and
Recreationally.
recreationally. And so we went there a couple years ago. This was before it was legal in California. So we were wondering the same thing. And the question is, what's it like there with weed being legal? You know, you could think in your head, there's pot shops everywhere and there's people smoking everywhere, but that was not the case.
No, we rarely saw people smoking.
You wouldn't even realize that it was legal. They do have dispensaries that are open to the public. You don't have to be a Colorado resident, which you can go in and check out even if you're not planning to buy any weed. It's just a cool experience. But yeah, you wouldn't know any different. It's just a part. It's not a big deal.
Right. Another question that we got was, do you really need to rent a car?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say because it's so spread out.
Everything that we wanted to do, Denver is so central to so many different areas. And because of everything that we wanted to do and complete, and there not being a lot of public transit to those areas, I think it's absolutely necessary to have a car.
Our final question was, does the altitude affect you? So we've obviously all heard the name Mile High City.
And if you haven't, you're hearing it now.
You're hearing it now. but
Not to be confused with the Mile High Club.
Definitely not to be confused with the Mile High Club.
What if Jamal and I joined the Mile High Club on our way to the Mile High City?
Oh, look at that. It's double Mile High. But no, so Denver's called that because of its high elevation, close to an actual mile of 5,280 feet. So one of the questions again, does the altitude affect you? And if you're in downtown Denver or any of the other areas, not necessarily so much. You need to be kind of at an altitude for most people of about 8,000 feet. So if you actually start doing some hiking in the Rockies, potentially.
Actually, someone did die in the Rockies a few weeks after we came back.
I remember that.
Did they
It was
fall?
So sad.
No, it was due to altitude sickness.
Well, be careful, guys. Take it slow. You'll definitely feel it in your breath if you are experiencing altitude sickness. So just slow down, drink water, go to a lower elevation.
Descend.
But like I
immediately.
said, within downtown, not necessarily. But again, to Brittany's reference of what happened in the Rockies doing some hiking, you
Yeah.
could potentially have it happen. So if you're not, don't worry about it.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And on that note,
That was Jamal's birthday weekend.
In Denver in a nutshell.
You made me take a day off of work.
if you guys have ever been to Denver, if you have any questions that you'd like us to answer on the podcast, please either hit us up on Instagram at Travel Squad Podcast or email us at travelsquadpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to address all of your questions in a next episode. All right, thanks guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed learning about Denver and Boulder and the surrounding area, and I hope that we've inspired you to take this trip for yourself.
As always, please subscribe to our podcast, leave a review, tell us what you like, and tune in every Travel Tuesday for new episodes.
And if you aren't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Travel Squad Podcast.
Make sure to pack your bags, grab your passport, because next week we are taking you to Cusco, Peru.
And I have a juicy
Cusco.
story for you.
Oh, yes, you do.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.